looks like Mexico is one step closer to becoming the world's largest legal marijuana market. That's because the Senate passed a bill last week to legalize the recreational use of the plant. Now, it just has to be approved by the lower house of Congress to become law, and it would allow Mexican adults to possess up to 28 grams of the drug. Now, this comes after reports that the cannabis industry has 30 to 40% upside now that U.S. President-elect Joe Biden is going to be taking over the White House. Well, joining us to break down just how lucrative the cannabis market actually is Sol Kaye, the founder of Israel-Cannabis. So Sol, first of all, break down why nations like Mexico and Israel are considering legalizing marijuana. What is the upside here?
The upside for government is taxable revenue. The upside for people is access to something that is already being purchased on the black market, and we're just legitimizing that trade and making it taxable. So there's job creation where, coming after COVID, where large economies have been decimated, this is a great way to encourage new growth in a new industry.
How much is the cannabis industry estimated to be worth?
Right now in the US, there are estimates of about $70 billion. That's a B. In Israel, the illegal market, let's say something like telegrass, has about 60 million shekels transacted on it per month. So if you compound those two and say what is the real market going to look like, and we consider that we're converting people who are currently buying it on the black market to the legal market, it could be hundreds of billions of dollars.
Now, how has the coronavirus pandemic changed the cannabis market, if at all?
I think, look, anxiety is up. Cannabis helps for anxiety. We've seen a huge increase in Israel in the patient population. And, cannabis, the cat is out of the bag, and the regulators are now just, when is this going to happen? It's not a question anymore of if this is going to happen. There will be legalization here in Israel, in Mexico next. And it's just a matter of time. So everyone's kind of accepted this. It's becoming more usual to receive medication at home via delivery and see your doctor online. These are all things that have been accelerated by COVID, and cannabis is no different.
Now, we're also seeing studies that have come out saying that THC, the most potent chemical found in cannabis, could be effective in treating some potentially lethal COVID-19 complications beyond just anxiety, like you mentioned. What can you tell us about that?
So I know of 2 clinical trials here in Israel at the moment looking at that. There's also some other compounds in cannabis, things like terpenes, the things that give cannabis its smell and its taste. One company here in Israel has found that has some anti-COVID properties. Again, this is very early research and it seems very promising, but with all medical research, it does take time before that hits the market. But there are compounds that make sense in the cannabis plant, which is anti-inflammatory and can stop the cytokine storm that happens after you get COVID. So it's quite an interesting set of molecules for this disease.